Hey, I'm going to walk you through a very easy way to capture stats on your own matches that have been captured in YouTube or Twitch or wherever they are using a desktop and just a web browser. So no app required. This is only with a browser and on desktop. It's not going to work with phones or iPads. This is a desktop thing. You know, maybe a laptop, Mac or PC is fine. But you definitely want to use the web auto timer and make sure you have a YouTube video ready to go. So you're going to launch the web auto timer and you're going to see that there is you can select a screen. So if you have cameras, yeah, you can use that, but here you want to actually select a shared screen in a window. And what I have here, I found a YouTube video of a foosball match, just some random video I found. I'm going to select that screen, so I selected it. Let's get it to reset. So I'm going to select that YouTube video screen. It's a browser tab, so I've selected it. I'm saying to share it. So this is, you want to make sure this is full screen. Get all the advertising stuff or the comment sections out of the way. Make it the table as large as possible. Doesn't have to be, but it just helps. It makes it easier. So I'm going to walk you through what we're doing here. So we went and selected we selected the source. So now you need to set the corners. I've already set the corners here, but you see here you just set these corners to the inner edge of the table. Doesn't have to be exact, but it helps if they're roughly accurate. Definitely select your table type, and because that drives what color ball it's searching for. Tornado's red. Then you want to do the background capture. Here background capture is trying to learn anything about the table that is red, so it knows to ignore it, like the red tornado T in the middle here. So you start the background capture, it's taking a few frames, seeing where the red is, and then it's going to create what's called a mask. Essentially a thing that says, oh, I'm going to ignore these sections when I'm searching for a ball. Now what I do, I really like to make, it captured most of it, but there's little bleeds of red here. So what I do is blot out this entire T. What I'm doing now is adding to the mask. I just like to make a nice thick red or thick yellow T here. Make sure you draw through the men, because if that man moves and underneath shows up red, then that's going to think it's a ball. So that's probably good enough. Nice big blob in the middle there, and it's fine. So it'll detect the ball everywhere else, and if it sees it on the 5 rod, if it goes through here, it's going to remember where it was, so it's going to be fine, and it actually works quite well. Okay, so now everything's set up. You don't have to worry about this OBS stuff. You're not going to be using OBS in this at all. This is only with your web browser and only with that YouTube video. You definitely want to make sure that the capture stats are turned on. This is what you're trying to do. If you don't turn it on, actually before we get there, let's start playing this video. So you can see here the video is playing, and it's already seeing where the ball is and starting the shot clock. So you can see it's working. So you definitely want to make sure you turn on if you want to capture stats. Before that, you have to make sure these zone lines are correctly set up, so that they're right in between the 3 rod when they have it in a front pin and the goalie position here. So for example, this guy's going to set up in a front pin, so you want to make sure that line is right up against the ball, so that's the zone within the 3 rod. So that sets that barrier line, and I think this line is, oh look at that, it's going to set up for me nice right there. So good. So now those are both there. If you can find sections in the video that actually have that already, you can pause it and come back to this, but I like to do it live, it's fine. So we're not capturing stats yet. The match is going. Of course, from right now, you can actually rewind it to the start of the match, and so you can capture the full match. And let's just do that just for accuracy purposes. So we're going to go right to the start of the match. Okay, and then we're going to say turn on capture stats, new match, and start the game. So now the game is started, and it's capturing the stats. So any little thing that happens here when the ball goes from one zone to another, that is a stat. That is an opportunity to say somebody got a good pass or somebody got a good shot or whatever. So the stats are being captured right now. One thing you do have to do when you're doing this, you have to tell it when a new game is or when a new match is and all this kind of stuff. You have to tell it the goals. You don't have to, but if you really want the stats to know the goals, you really need to tell it the goals. So if somebody scores, I'll actually try to make sure I record the goal, or just for purposes, I'll just say that they scored. Now, I might have clicked it when the goalie had the zone there, so I might attribute that stat to the goalie. We will go see. But when this team gets it, I'm going to give them a goal. let's give that goalie a goal. So now I've said that goalie scored. So when we see the stats, we'll see that. And I'm going to wait for them to get the ball somewhere else, just so we can see the other team have the ball. Oh, and then you got advertisements. So this, actually right here, you see the auto timer is paused. It's detected that, hey, this is not a ball on a table. There's a lot more happening here, so it's paused itself. So stats are not being captured by this. So this is what happens with YouTube. Sometimes you get ads. So you just skip through it, and then the auto timer will resume as soon as it looks like there's just a ball on the table. That's a relatively recent feature. Really makes the stats much more accurate. So I'm going to say this guy scored from the 5. So then I said goal there. So whenever a zone has it and you mark goal, it's going to say, well, that zone, that rod scored. And I guess with this 3 rod, I'll do the same thing. So then right now it's 2-2. Now let's go look at the stats finally. So the way you look at the stats, you can copy and paste this URL here, or you can just click this preview button. That'll open up a stat page. So by default, it's going to show you the match trend, and we'll get to that. But if you want to look at the current game, you can click on game 1 there. All the games will be shown at the top there. And now we can see the actual match stats. So there was a goal, like I said, up here. If there's a goal scored and it doesn't really make sense as to who scored it, then it says there's another goal. If it doesn't really make sense, like for example, if there was the ball was on the 5 rod of the other team and then the other team scored a goal, well, that doesn't really make sense to make sure what really would happen. So that gets attributed as an other goal down here. So the goal is not missed. It's just maybe not stat-wise known who actually scored it. You see there the stats are updating live as the match is happening within the background. You can go look at the possession story. This gives you an idea of number of possessions, time of possession, just interesting things like that. Who had the ball the most, kind of thing. There's momentum. So if one team's doing really well and they score, they're gaining momentum. The other team scores, they gain momentum, back and forth kind of thing. Goalie rating is the new goalie rating. This one's an interesting one. It's new. So generally goalies start at 500 points as a goalie rating, and if they do good things, help their team or score points, they go up to a maximum of 1,000. That's like a perfect. Every time the goalie touched it, he scored. Or then you can go down to 0 if every time you touched it, you got scored on, or scored on yourself, or gave it away. You'll have a lower rating. So you start at 500. So for example, this guy here, he started at 500. He scored once, but then gave away the ball to the opposing 5 3 times, which is not good for his team. He might have been thinking he's clearing the ball, but really effectively the other team had the ball. Where this goalie's doing much worse. Oh, he just gave it away 2 of the 3, and so he's only cleared the zone once, got scored on once. So his goalie rating is going down. So all these stats pages are updating live. So if you leave it up and things are happening within the background, you'll see them actually changing. They refresh themselves every 5 seconds. This summary view is really like these are each possessions. So for example, on the 3 rod here, he's had 5 possessions so far. He's only scored once, and this gold is a confirmed goal. That's when I click the actual goal button. 5 bar, these L's and W are he tried to detect did he do a lane or a wall pass, and then green is he had a successful pass. Pretty much he had the ball on the 5. It ended up on his 3. I don't really care how it got there. It turned out positive or negative, so that's a success or a fail. And then goalies, you can see here the usual goalie rating percentages. Like he's 4 for 4 for clearing, but he's at 5 for 5 now. But his rating is only 531 because, as we saw, yeah, he cleared, but he's actually giving the ball away to the other team. So not as effective as it could be. So it's not going to be like an amazing story. But his goalie rating, this is what I really wanted the goalie rating to do, to kind of like have this story be told, be saying like, yeah, he looks like he's doing great, 5 for 5 for clears, even scored a goal, but maybe not so effective for his team. I'm not saying the other goalie's doing any better, but that just gives us a different measure to see how goalies are helping their team maintain possession and helping their team attack more than defend. So yeah, so these are all the stats available there. Once you open up this page, you'll see this URL here. This is an actual static URL. This URL will always bring you back to this match. And then you can say for game 1 and game 2 and up there as well. If you want to go back to the match, you can go back to the match page, and that's just the match. So the URL that you're given here is the current game. What you see here, this gives you the current game for what this web auto timer is looking at. might not be the game you're after, but if you really want the game, like say in the future, when the web auto timer is no longer running, you can use this URL to go back to this match, and you can use these menu items to navigate through all the various games. Like for example, let's create a new game. Let's say this game is over. Now they're practicing. You don't want the auto timer to actually be capturing stats there. So you say start game once they're done, and now it's game 2. And if you go back and look at the stats, we will have in 5 seconds, probably once there is a break in the play. What's going on? Oh yeah, they're breaking the play. Let's fast forward them a bit. And now game 2 should show up over here. And like you see, I'm not lying. So now the match trends, you can see how are they doing from game to game. This is a really interesting one. You can see how the flow of the match and what happened from game to game to game. Did one team do better than the other? Did they improve, or did they not improve? Did they go the other direction? And then you can click on game 2 and start looking at its stats on itself. Right? For example, right now this goalie, he had the ball once and he cleared it to his team's 5, so he's doing quite well. And the other goalie just did the same. So like you see, this is all happening automatically, nothing for me to do. If you want goals, which is really important for 3-rod successes and fails and stats, you really want to record those goals. That ball went in, I think. Oh, it didn't. Okay. Oh well, my bad. So you can just subtract that. So yeah, so there it is. You can use this with any video you want, and just set it up for that video and record the stats and learn from your own videos or from your opponents how your opponent's doing. You can do it for that as well. And if people are starting to use this and they're finding value in it, I'll start to add more things like maybe we enter player names, and then we can get a series of matches for a given player and learn about their habits or your habits. Versus just one match on its own. But again, all this is in the web browser only, no app required, no subscription required. I think people get confused by that a lot. No, this is entirely free. Web Auto Timer is free and can be used unlimitedly. Unlimited. So yeah, you got any questions? Often there's a lot of discussions around, especially like the goalie rating stuff in the Inside Foos Facebook group. There's like almost 6,000 foosers in there that generally contribute and have a few things to say. So if you want to join the conversation as to how these things get developed and what features I kind of do, I kind of use that as a sounding board for the biggest amount of people in one place. There's also my Discord server, which is kind of like those people that are more deeply interested in how things work. But if you just want to get involved in the discussions as to features or have questions, reach out to me directly. Always happy to answer. Discord. So if you notice that right there, I might have hit that score button too slow, because that if you rewind the video, I'm not sure when I hit the score button and when that goalie reached their hand in and then caused the zone to light up. We can go look at the stats to see what actually where it was attributed. No, okay, I guess I got it good. Yeah, no, I got it quick enough. So that's just one thing you have to look out for sometimes. And about stats and accuracy. So I worked for Stats Canada for 7 years, and I know this very well, that this is a comment that might surprise you, but stats, even though they're inaccurate sometimes, can still be extremely useful. The more stats you gather, the larger your sample size, the more meaningful those numbers and those stats will be for you, because they'll become more and more accurate over time. You're looking for general trends over time, but if it misses one pass or misses one shot or whatever, it's not the end of the world. Keep the thing going. It might not be perfect, but it doesn't need to be perfect to be useful. You get a whole match worth of data points and stats from that. That data is going to be useful. There's going to be trends that are going to be seen there. You're going to learn that, hey, this passing series is only working 44%. This guy's only 33%, for example. Even though it might have missed one pass here and there, it might change it from 33 to 35%. Is that really that big of a difference? No. Still tells you maybe this player needs to work on their 5. Now, if it's a single game and you only got 3 possessions and it missed one, yeah, that's not going to be an accurate stat for you to make educated moves from. You want a big sample size, do a full match, many games, and then you'll gain some good information, even though the stats aren't perfect. They might miss a pass here and there, but that's absolutely fine. All stats systems, even Stats Canada, builds recommendations for governments and other departments based on, you know, inaccurate data. And you heard it here first. Anyways, yeah, keep the ideas coming. Always happy to hear it. Happy to implement stuff. As you can see, stats on my thing. Yeah, talk to you later.